Good morning, everyone. Jai Shri Krishna. Today I'll start chapter 17 of Bhagwad Gita, which is called Shraddha, Traya, Vibhag Yoga, which means yoga through discerning the three divisions of faith. I'll briefly talk about this yoga and recite verses 28 from this chapter, explaining its meaning. In this chapter, Krishna goes into greater detail about the influence of the gunas. First, he discusses the topic of faith and explains that nobody is devoid of faith, for it is an inseparable aspect of human nature. But depending upon the nature of their mind, people's faith takes on a corresponding color: sattva, rajasic and tamasic. The nature of their faith determines the quality of their life. People also prefer food according to their dispositions. Sri Krishna classifies food into three categories and discusses the impact of each of these upon us. He then talks about the topic of sacrifice, means yajna, and how in each of the three modes of nature, sacrifice takes on different forms. Finally, Sri Krishna goes beyond the three gunas and explains the relevance and import of the word Om Tat Sat, which symbolize different aspects of the absolute truth. The syllable Om is the symbolic representation of the impersonal aspect of God. The syllable Tat is uttered for consecrating activities and ceremonies to the Supreme Lord. The syllable Sat means eternal goodness and virtue. The chapter concludes by emphasizing the futility of acts of sacrifice, austerity, and charity, which are done without regard to the injunctions of the scriptures. Verses 1 to 28. Arjuna Uvacha Ye Sastra Vidhim Shrujya Yajante Shraddhayanvitaha Tesham Nishta Tuka Krishna Sattva Rajastamaha. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehi Nam Sa Svabhavacha Satvike Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tam Shrunu. Sattvanurupa Sarvasya Shraddha Bhavati Bharata Shraddha Mayoham Purushoyo Yacchatta Sa Eva Saha Yajante Satvika Devanya Ksharakshantri Rajasaha Pretan Bhuta Gananshrayenye Yajante Tamsa Janaha Asasra Vihitam Goram Tapanteye Tapojanaha Dambah Ahankaram Sanyuktaha Kamaraga Balanvitaha Karpayantaha Sarirastham Bhutagrama Machetasah Mam Chevantaha Sarirastham Tanvindya Suranishayana Aharastape Sarvasya Trivido Bhavati Preyaha Yagnasta Patasta Tha Danam Tesham Veda Mimam Shrunu. Ayuha Sattva Balarogya Sukha Priti Vivurtanaha Rashyaha Srikta Sthira Radaya Ahara Satvik Priyaha Katumbalavul Tanyu Shrina Tikshna Runa Vidahinaha Ahara Rajasteshta Dukha Soka Mada Priyaha Yatamamam Gatarasam Puti Paryushitam Chayata उष्टिष्टमपि चामेत्यं भोजनं तामसप्रियम् अफलाकानिर्भियज्ञो विर्गष्टो य इज्यते यष्टम्यभेवति मनः सामदाय च सात्विकः अभिसन्धाय तु फलं दम्भार्थमपि चैव यथा इज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठतं यज्ञं विधिं राजसम् विधिहीनम् अश्रुष्टानं मन्त्रहीनं दक्षिणं श्रद्धा विरहितं यज्ञं तामसं परिचक्षते देवत्रिजगुरुप्राज्ञ पूजनं शौच मार्जवं ब्रह्मचर्यं हिंसां च शारीरं तप उच्यते अनुद्वेगकरं वाक्यं सत्यं प्रियं हितं च यत् स्वाध्यायाभ्यसनं चैव वाक्यं तप उच्यते मनः प्रसाद सौम्यत्वं मौनत्मान विनिग्रहः भावसंशुद्धिरित्येत तपोमान समुच्यते श्रद्धा पर्यातत्वं तपस्तत्विधिं नरेः अफलाङ्का निर्भियुक्तेः सात्विकं परिचक्षते सत्कारमान् पूजार्थ तपोदम्भेन चैव यत् क्रियते तदिह प्रोक्तं राजसं जलं ध्रुवम् मूढग्राहेण मनो यत्पीड्या क्रियते तपः परशुसानार्थ वा तत्तामस मुदाहतम् दातव्यमिति यदानं दीयते अनुपकारिणे देशे काले च पात्रे च तदानं सात्विकं श्रुतम् यत्तु प्रत्युपकारार्थं फलमुद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं वदानं राजसं स्मृतम् अदेशकाले यद्दानं पात्रेभ्यश्व दीयते असकृततमवज्ञातं तत्तामसमुद्राहतम् ॐ तत्सदिति निर्देशो ब्रह्मणस्त्रिविधः स्मृतः ब्राह्मणस्तेन वेदाश्च यज्ञाश्च विहिता पुरः तस्माद् ॐ इत्युदाहृत्य यज्ञदानतपः क्रिया प्रवर्तते विधानोक्ताः सततं ब्रह्मवादिनाम् तदित्यभिसन्धाय फलं यज्ञतपः कृशाः दानक्रियाश्च विविधाः क्रियन्ते मोक्षकामिभिः सद्भावे साधुभावे च सदित्येतत्प्रयुज्यते प्रशस्ते कर्मणि तथा स्वच्छन्दः पार्थ उच्यते यज्ञे तपसि दाने च स्थितिः सदिति चोच्यते कर्म चैव तथैर्दय्यं सदीयेत्वाभिधीयते अश्रुदताहुतं दत्तं तपस्तपं कृतं च यत् असदिच्युच्यते पार्थ न च प्रेयनो इह which means Arjuna said, O Krishna, where do you stand who disregard the injunctions of the scriptures but still worship with faith? Is there a faith in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance? The Supreme Divine Personality said, every human being is born with innate faith, which can be of three kinds, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Now hear about this from me. The faith of all humans conforms to the nature of their mind. All people possess faith, and whatever the nature of their faith, that is verily what they are. Those in the mode of goodness worship the celestial gods. Those in the mode of passion worship the yakshas and rakshasas. Those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Some people perform stern austerities that are not enjoined by the scriptures, but rather motivated by hypocrisy and egotism. Impelled by desire and attachment, they torment not only the elements of their body, but also I who dwell within them as the Supreme Soul. Know these senseless people to be demoniacal resolves. The food persons prefer is according to their dispositions. The same is true for the sacrifice, austerity, and charity they incline toward. Now hear of the distinctions from me. Persons in the mode of goodness prefer foods that promote the lifespan and increase virtue, strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, succulent, nourishing, and naturally tasteful. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, very hot, dry, and chillful are clear to persons in the mode of passion. Such foods produce pain, grief, and disease. Foods that are overlooked, stale, polluted, and impure are dear to persons in the mode of ignorance. Sacrifice that is performed according to the scriptural injunctions without expectation of rewards, with the firm conviction of the mind that it is a matter of duty, is of the nature of goodness. O best of Bharatas, know that sacrifice which is performed for material benefit or with hypocritical aim to be in the mode of passion. Sacrifice devoid all faith and contrary to the injunctions of the scriptures, in which no food is offered, no mantras are chanted, and no donation made, is to be considered in the mode of ignorance. Worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmins, the spiritual master, the wise, and the elders, when this is done with the observance of cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence, is declared as the austerity of the body. Words that do not cause distress are truthful, inoffensive, and beneficial, as well as the regular recitation of the Vedic scriptures. These are declared as the austerity of speech. Serenity of thought, gentleness, silence, self-control, and purity of purpose, all these are declared as the austerity of mind. When devout persons with ardent faith practice these threefold austerities without yearning for material rewards, they are designated as austerities in the mode of goodness. Austerity that is performed with ostentation for the sake of gaining honor, respect, and adoration is in the mode of passion. Its benefits are unstable and transitory. Austerity that is performed by those with confused notions and which involves torturing the self or harming others is described to be in the mode of ignorance. Charity given to a worthy person simply because it is right to give without consideration of anything in return at the proper time and in the proper place is stated to be in the mode of goodness. But charity given with reluctance, with the hope of a return, or in the expectation of a reward, is said to be in the mode of passion. And that charity which is given at the wrong place at the wrong time to unworthy persons without showing respect or with contempt is held to be of the nature of nescience. The words Om Tat Sat have been declared as symbolic representation of the supreme absolute truth from the beginning of creation. From them came the priest, scriptures, and sacrifice. Therefore, when performing acts of sacrifice, offering charity, or undertaking penance, expounders of the Vedas always begin by uttering Om according to the prescriptions of Vedic injunctions. Persons who do not desire fruitive rewards but seek to be free from material entanglements utter the word Tat along with the acts of austerity, sacrifice, and charity. The word Sat means eternal existence and goodness. O Arjuna, it is also used to describe an auspicious action being established in the performance of sacrifice, penance, and charity is also described by the word Sat, and so any act for such purposes is named Sat. O son of Pritha, whatever acts of sacrifice or penance are done without faith are termed as Asat. They are useless both in this world and the next. अथ श्रीमद् भागवत गीता श्रद्धा त्रया विभाग योग अध्याय संपूर्णम्. Namaste.